To help you land more commercial contracting deals, I created a workflow that condenses a day of prospecting into an hour, and I'm giving it away for you to use to get in front of people who need your services. This is a workflow of prompts that were created in a custom coding environment that's been trained on outreach in our industry. I've actually used it thousands of times in an automation, and my team and I have been recursively improving it for the past few months. I'll start this video with an overview of the workflow and the outputs, and I'll end the video with detailed instructions on how you can use it yourself. I'll also share why cold outreach is such a good opportunity right now for commercial contractors especially, and also why so many people in our industry shy away from it. If you want to just grab the prompts and then skip the instructions, skip the video, you can just check out the link that accompanies this video. Otherwise, let's get started and look at this workflow. So here's what you'll get from the link accompanying this video. It's 3 extremely well-written prompts that all speak to each other and work together, and instructions on how to use them within Perplexity or a different AI tool if you want, but I recommend Perplexity. If you use this correctly, you'll be able to get very personalized, straightforward emails that are highly converting, have great open rates, and position your company's unique skills alongside your prospects' unique needs. And it does this by conducting deep research about the prospect and then understanding your company and matching those two things together in a really intelligent way. I put together one example just to share some of the outputs that you'll get. I took Beltway Commercial Services as the sender company doing the outreach, and Matten, someone on their team, as the prospect. Apparently, some of Beltway's key differentiators are they have an on-site PM, they have a lot of client visibility for budgeting and schedules, they do tenant improvements and commercial interiors. So those are some of their strengths, and apparently Matten has a couple projects they just recently started in one location, so they have a faster pace, and they also have tenants. So here's the cold email that it generated based on that research. So the subject is Scott Frederick Buildouts. Scott's the lead's name, and Frederick is their consolidated region. Hey Scott, I noticed Riverside 1 and 2 and Center 85 in Frederick. I appreciate Matten's pace. That focus sets you up to move fast on interiors. Working together, we could speed tenant improvement turnarounds in occupied assets and keep inspections on track. We deliver DC/Maryland/Virginia tenant improvement and build-outs with transparent budgeting, on-site PM, and client visible schedules. Client visible scheduling provides real-time status and reduces guesswork for internal teams. Open to a 30-minute call next week to talk Frederick timelines. And then, insert your signature or whatever. So there's a couple things to call out in this that I think are really interesting. The first line is a compliment and personalization, so I think that's important to hook them in. The second line talks about specific needs matching with specific things that they offer. The third line, that's pretty straightforward, just their value proposition. And then, a clear and easy call to action. I like that they said we could speed tenant improvement turnarounds, and they said TI, like it's a kind of industry lingo, in occupied assets to keep inspections on track. So that's very industry specific. Occupied assets is definitely something that an investor would be talking about, and a property manager, real estate property manager would be talking about. And maybe not, most general contractors might say occupied assets. So I think that's really important to call out, is it was thinking through exact, industry specific lingo that Scott might be comfortable using with his internal team, but might not hear in a lot of cold outreach emails that he receives. Okay, that was a good high-level overview. Hopefully that gets you as hyped as it does me, because it's so cool to see what you can generate these days at scale. If you just care about the tool instructions, you can go ahead and skip forward a couple minutes and get started. Otherwise, here's my mindset about outreach. There are 2 reasons why cold outreach is such a good opportunity right now. One, everything is becoming more personalized. And two, tons of people just their ego prevents them from actually doing it. So the first one, personalization. The future is custom. Technology makes complexity more scalable. Like think about how much more customizable prefabbed homes are becoming these days versus, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And for anything digital, like AI is personalizing that experience like nothing we've ever seen before. Especially for media and communication, people are going to become used to this like one-on-one interaction with their social media, their news, their shopping, brands. We're hitting some exponential progress, and by staying up to date with cold outreach, we're just kind of, jumping to the next point on that curve. You're going to have more and more opportunities to personalize your client experience, and cold outreach is a great place to start. So, yeah, the future is custom. And a lot of people are wary about cold outreach. To me, it sounds a little bit like other people's egos are preventing them from making clear, solid business decisions. But, there are also valid concerns. Primarily, the construction industry is built on reputations. So, I totally understand. You don't want to send the wrong message to the wrong person that you already have a solid relationship with. On one hand, I think there are a lot of misconceptions about how much people actually care. I just can't remember ever seeing a bad cold email and then remembering who sent it a month or two later. On the other hand, that also assumes that you're sending bad cold emails to warm leads, which, yeah, don't do that. If you do it well, cold outreach expands your network, builds your reputation, and gets you leads. So you can either shy away from business development and keep buying magazine ads and waiting for referrals, or you can personally talk with all the key decision makers in your market. All right, so I've put together this prompt flow tool for you. I'm just going to walk you through what you need to do to set it up and use it. It's all pretty straightforward. You can also just follow the instructions on the web page. So, if you're more of a visual auditory learner, keep watching the video. Otherwise, happy prompting. All right, let's dive into it. Succeeding at this workflow really comes down to three things. One is how well you organize your context, information about your company, who you're helping, how you're helping them, and why now. The other one is how good the prompts are, which I covered that for you. And then the third one is how good you are at copy pasting all of those things into a prompt. I recommend just going in, getting all this stuff set up so that all you have to do is open a tab, go into Perplexity, copy paste, hit research, go to the next tab, repeat, go to the next tab, and then once the research is done, come in and do the next prompt. Basically what you're going to do is organize company context, and here's a prompt to help you organize everything about your company. Once you have your company context organized into a document, you copy paste it into the new prompt along with your lead's name and company URL. Then you copy paste this prompt in there. Then it'll conduct research. Then you copy paste this writing prompt into that conversation, and it will give you 3 emails that you can send to that person. So this is kind of 2 parts. One, this step 1, you really just have to do this once for your company and then just save it into a doc so you can copy paste it into all the other prompts. So you'll go into Perplexity and say, copy paste your marketing plan, whatever info you already have easily available from your company. Otherwise, you can just put your URL of your website and skip all that, and Perplexity will search it for you. And then the type of people you're reaching out to, your demographic, and why are you reaching out to them now? Maybe triggers, like here's an example. This is a list of companies who purchased commercial land in Orange County and will likely be building soon. Simple as that. You could add in like, this is commercial real estate developers, or this is property managers, the exact type of people. That's also helpful. Then Perplexity will use this prompt to structure that information in a way that the rest of the prompts can easily and quickly read. I'm sure you've heard context management. It's kind of a buzzword right now, and for good reason. AI can only do so much with the context that you give it, and it can only include so much context. Some models excel at large amounts of context, but you don't need a massive amount of context. You just need to structure it well. So this first step really helps to structure that exact information and keep it concise and clear so that the rest of the AIs know how to navigate it. After you do that, save that into a document somewhere so you can just continually copy paste it. And then step 2, you basically take that information and put the lead's name in the top. So here's my example that I shared earlier. Lead's name is Scott with matainc.com, and then you just copy paste the prompt, the Perplexity research prompt, and your company info. This will give you here's what that entire prompt looks like. So yeah, like this is more than just ChatGPT generated this prompt for me, or you just wrote, hey, research this lead for personalization opportunities. This is a lot more than that. Then Perplexity will give you an answer, and it will look like this: structured information on your lead company, Matin, on the person, opportunities that you all have to work together, specific things that they focus on. This is all things that you would look for yourself while doing this cold outreach, but it would probably take you 30, 45 minutes to do all this and put it together at the very least. So it structures that in a way that the next prompt can read it, and really the next thing all you need to do is copy paste this prompt and your company info into Perplexity inside the same conversation. So here's where I did that, and your output is really the only thing that you need to read, because this output also includes the personalization reasoning. This second prompt, what it does is it takes all of the information from Perplexity and all of your company information, and it puts them together and says, all right, here are 3 amazing personalization opportunities, and then it ranks them in order of like the best to least likely to be useful. And then it passes that on to its next step, which is to write the emails. And it looks at copywriting rules and guidelines for cold emails, what to not say in cold emails to avoid spam detection, and how to format these emails exactly so that you have consistent outputs every time. So then you get your email 1. Hey Scott, I noticed your recent projects. This is a great way for us to work together because of our unique positioning and your unique needs. Email 2 is a template that I just always stick with for the second email, just as a follow-up. It's basically like, hey, professional, kind reminder, just in case you missed this, and then kind of a presumptive language, look forward to hearing from you, and thanks in advance, instead of, oh, I don't want to bother you, and I hope that this sounds good to you. This is a lot. This kind of subconsciously puts that close in their head if they read it. Then email 3 is basically like email 1, just a different opportunity. And then if you want to double check any of the work, you have the personalization reasoning. So like I said before, what I would do is get this company info in a document, and then get all of your leads in a document, and just go Perplexity prompt, boom, done. And then the next tab, copy paste a new lead, and then copy paste your prompt, and then hit enter, and then do another tab, etc., etc. And then by the time this first one is done researching, you've entered in like 10 tabs worth of search, and you can just copy paste in the next prompt. Copy this, paste it in, hit enter, go to the next tab, paste in the prompt, hit enter, go to the next tab, paste in the prompt, hit enter. So if you kind of follow this workflow really closely, just get good at copy pasting and have a nice organized context, then you'll get really great results and you can send tons of emails to people. If you're going to send these at scale, maybe more than a couple hundred per month, then I would do it professionally. I would get the right tools and the right setup, because if someone reports one of your emails as spam, it can actually harm your day-to-day communications with like clients, trades, already warm leads, etc. So you want to set up other domains, you want to use domain warming tools, and you want to use multiple mailboxes and a sender tool. If you're a B2B company or have B2B services in the construction industry and you have over $500,000 annual marketing spend, then my team and I will set this scalable system up for you for free. We'll use this template and I'll help you purchase the right tools. I won't buy them for you. I'll help you set up your domains with Instantly and all the other email warming things that you need to do. Otherwise, if you want to hop on a call, I'm happy to help you set this up and understand how these prompt flows work. I'm always eager to talk with other construction industry marketers and people doing cold outreach in the construction industry. The other thing is data workflows. A huge part of being successful with cold outreach starts with your data and where you're getting it from, because it's basically going to tell the AI, like, who is this person? Why now? In this top example, it's like they just pulled a building permit in this county and you got their name because of that. And then you can filter it. Are they a facilities manager? Are they a property manager? Are they an investor? What's the cost of the land? And then you can incorporate that personalization so much more into your cold outreach. And if there's no other really good personalization opportunities, the AI can, select that intelligently. So yeah, great outreach at scale really starts with a great list source. So I included that. You can copy paste this into AI and ask it questions. Why are these things? How would I do one of these things? This all costs money. You need to buy lists, or it takes a lot of work to go into like county open data portals and stuff like that. So it's a bit of a learning curve, but you could get someone on your team to figure it out. Otherwise, that's all for now. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that it gets you hyped about doing cold outreach that provides value to everyone and builds your reputation, helps you build a better business for yourself and your team and their families.